My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today I want to do a show on how Bad Bunny is breaking Trump supporters' brains. Now, at first, this show might not seem like it's important at all. Maybe it's not, but I'm Generation X. I'm 60 years old now, and I've seen quite a lot throughout my lifetime. And this really bothers me. And it's not just because of what's happening in society. It's because of what I've lived through. And I've had a lot of friends throughout the years that I've lived a lot of these things through with, let's say. And it's just so strange how I know how a lot of these people went through their formative years. And yet they all seem to be changing for this Donald Trump hatred. So let's get into this a little bit here. So for those who need to know, who might not know, Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime entertainment. Now, to be honest, I don't like Bad Bunny. He's not my style of music that I listen to. Definitely not, but that's not the point. So conservatives have a problem with Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl entertainment. What's their number one reason for this? Well, they say he's not American. Okay, let's take a look at that. Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico. Last time I looked, that's America. So that's a problem right there, is that these people are pretty uneducated. And when you tell them that, they still will fight for the right to somehow be angry at this guy being the Super Bowl entertainment. And because again, because I'll have to say it many times, because for some reason Trump supporters don't seem to get this. Puerto Rico is part of America, so stop complaining, right? Now, but here's the thing that's also odd about this. The Super Bowl is not obligated to put only American artists on there, right? So here's some examples. Throughout Super Bowl history, we've had The Who, we've had the Rolling Stones, we've had Paul McCartney, all from England, all from classic rock. All of my friends and people my age love these bands. All of a sudden, now you're going to complain that this musician is not from America, although he is from America. But what is your complaint? Your whole childhood and all of your formative years were based on listening to music that was not from America. U2 as well. They also played the Super Bowl, and they're from Ireland. Now, there is a few American bands that are pretty good over the years, let's say. You know, I mean, you could name Aerosmith as one of them, but almost all of the formative classic rock bands, Led Zeppelin, Beatles, keep going, they're from England. So what happened to you that now you're going to complain that it's not an American band playing there? It makes no sense to me. Here's the other part. If they give up that part of the argument, they'll say, oh yes, but he's singing in Spanish. He needs to sing in English because it's the Super Bowl. Or I can't like him, or we can't like this guy. And by the way, I don't like that music. I don't care what language he speaks in. But the thing is, they're not going to like this because he sings in or talks, I don't know, raps in Spanish. Okay, let's go over this. So 6 months ago, I saw Carlos Santana at the House of Blues. Amazing. Half of his songs are in Spanish. Now, who is Santana? He's been playing for 60 years. He's known as one of the greatest guitar players of all time and is a fixture on classic rock radio. Played at Woodstock, starred at Woodstock. I saw him in the 90s in front of 50,000 people at an open air concert. I don't remember one person going, oh my God, this guy has a singer who sings in Spanish. Because by the way, if you know, Carlos Santana does not sing, he plays guitar and he has other singers. One of my favorite CDs is a double CD, Viva Santana, and half of the songs on there I can't pronounce because they're in Spanish. I've never had a conversation with anybody who's Generation X, my age, friends, family, whoever, about Santana being a Spanish band because they sing in Spanish. Never heard it. Actually, his most famous song is Oye Como Va. I still don't know what it means, but I still love the song. Somebody's gonna say Black Magic Woman is more famous. I got it, but he didn't write that. That's an original Fleetwood Mac song, just so you know. So again, it makes no sense. Back in the day, again, the 90s, I think I saw was Sepultura, who's from Argentina, and they opened up for Judas Priest. We'll talk about Judas Priest in a second. They're from Argentina. I don't even know what language that is. Is it Argentinian? Is it Spanish? I don't know. But some of their songs are not in English. Did anybody care? No. They just had good music. Rammstein is probably one of the biggest heavy metal bands still going today. A lot of their stuff is in German. Does it matter? No. This is the part about music appealing to everybody. So since when did all my friends and people like me start to turn into these brain-broken weirdos that can't listen to anything unless it's in English, right? Or it has to be from America. A lot of the stuff you heard wasn't in English. A lot of the stuff you heard, or most of it, was not from America. Like, come on, guys, or women, whoever. It's sad to me, because I know you. We grew up in the 70s and 80s. If the person you are now looks back at that person, you would hate that person, because everything you did and stood for and everything you loved is what you're saying that you're against now. Makes no sense. Also, that goes along with this, about this whole Bad Bunny thing. If we just take a little bit of a stretch, we're looking at this Trump anti-gay agenda, anti-transgender agenda, and anti-cross-dressing agenda, right? So we're looking at transvestites. Okay, so I'm a straight male, okay? I don't care, but I don't like or dislike people based upon what clothes they wear or their sexuality, right? You have to be bigger than that. So I'm not worried about that. But again, being truthful, a lot of the people that I loved and who I had pictures up on my wall when I was a kid, a lot of them were transvestites, transgender, and gay. And so did you. What happened to you? Did Donald Trump, the angry, ugly man, make you change who you are as a human? Because let me go over some of this. Because a lot of these people are my friends. I was with a lot of people. We went to concerts. We went to bars. We went to movies. There were a lot of movies back then. Okay, so what am I talking about? All right, you want to be anti-gay? How about Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones? How about David Bowie? How about Elton John? How about Freddie Mercury from Queen? How about Rob Halford from Judas Priest? Gay or bisexual? Absolutely. Peter Townsend from The Who? Bisexual? Yes. So all of a sudden now you don't like The Who, the Rolling Stones, all these people now? You have something against them, do you? Interesting. Let's talk about dressing up like women. And this whole thing, now all of a sudden now you just can't stand it. You don't want to be around it, and you don't want your kids to be around it. Who, by the way, your kids are probably like 30 years old now, so let's be honest. Okay, let's talk about drag. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister, from Baldwin, Long Island, just like I am. Guy's 6'5", and every single show dresses in pink and dresses like a woman, and has women's makeup on. Dee Snider made a career of dressing in drag. And so did the rest of the guys like JJ French and everybody else. They dressed up as women, and thus the name Twisted Sister. Okay, did I go to these concerts with my friends? Yes. Did they all wear like spandex and all this and love the guy wearing pink and the makeup and the long hair? Yes. Okay, but now all of a sudden we're Donald Trump supporters and we're backing up from that? No, man, I remember everything. Did you like Poison? Did you like Cinderella? Some of those bands? Yes. By the way, every single 80s hair band dressed up like women, teased their hair to the moon like women did, and put on the women's makeup. And that was popular back then. 80s hair bands all over the place. And you were there. We can actually go back. 70s glam rock, same thing. T-Rex, Queen, Sweet, a whole bunch of other bands dressed up as women or androgynous. But we just listened to the music and we enjoyed it and we liked the stage show. Now we're hating on people? What happened to you? Do you lose your empathy and compassion as you get older? I don't understand this, because I know better. Let's talk about a movie, for example. All right? So you hate all this stuff. You think it's weird. You want everything to be stone cold, heterosexual. Boom, that's it. That's all you can deal with now? Okay. Remember going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Transvestites from transsexual Transylvania, remember that? Remember when everybody knew all the words and they would throw things at the screen and everything like that, and it would always be sold out? It's very disconcerting to realize that half of the people that went to go see Rocky Horror in the 70s and 80s are people now who love Donald Trump, and because Donald Trump has an anti-gay, anti-transsexual agenda, is jumping on that bandwagon now, and they don't have the guts to stand up to say that that's wrong. And that's, by the way, you could be the straightest guy in the room, as I am, and I still lived with a lot of my life having gay people on my walls, and I listened to people who were gay, who wrote great music. And so did you, and so did the world, and it lasted 60 years so far, and it's still going on. Hopefully it'll go on for longer. Let's look at Las Vegas for a second. Through the 80s, we had a lot of great shows. We still have some shows here, obviously, but things have changed. Through the 80s, we've had people like Frank Marino, not the guitar player, who was another entertainer, and we had Kenny Kerr. Who were they? They dressed up in drag. There were drag shows on the Strip that were amazingly popular. Were people complaining? Were there Trump supporters going, oh my God, the world is going to end because there's a man in a dress? No, people were so much more open-minded back then. What happened? What happened? It's so sad. By the way, now I'm thinking about it, I was watching in 1975, Saturday Night Live, and the Rolling Stones were on there, if you can believe that, because they actually did have some big bands back then. Mick Jagger goes over to Keith Richards and starts French kissing him on live TV. Okay? Not the greatest thing I've ever seen in the world, of course, but the world didn't end, and there wasn't a catastrophe afterwards. Like, it just was a thing, it happened, and people moved on. Nowadays, the way people are talking about this whole thing about how much you people hate gay people, I don't understand it. You loved it. You were the ones also walking around with the Rolling Stones shirt on you with the tongue hanging out. Like, that was a gay symbol. I'm going to remind you of that. Because I can. So let me finish up with a little message here for all my male bodybuilding and music friends from the 80s. Remember when you were wearing spandex pants and you were dressing like women? And you would try to make that sock just right so it looked like the right shape even though it was weird? Remember when you did that? So I remember when you were dressing like a woman and you were trying to look like a female ballet dancer. I remember that. Remember when you were growing your hair long, you were putting all that stuff in it to look like your girlfriend? Because I remember that. Think about it. Like, a lot of these guy bodybuilders that were wearing spandex, they didn't just go to the gym like that. Oh, by the way, that could be bad enough, right? These Trump supporters now, in their 50s and 60s, in the 80s, they were wearing spandex pants to go shopping. They were going to the gas station in their spandex and their socks on the outside, like rolled up, because they wanted to look like those ballet, what do they call those, leg warmers? Oh my God, you guys were feminine. No issue, no problem. I just want to say that you need to be congruent, right? That's how you grew up, and that was your formative years, and now you hate that. I just want to say that people you hate, that's you. For my female bodybuilding friends, You can't complain about transgender being evil when you're actively taking enough testosterone to grow a beard and to grow a penis. It doesn't make sense. I know plenty of female bodybuilders now complaining too because they want to be on the tough side, and we're gonna hate now because we think it's stronger to hate people like Donald Trump. We want to put people down, or we want to attach ourselves to the strong guy who maybe makes some money, and so we want to feel safe and secure with the guy who makes money. So we're going to go along with his insecurities and his hate and his misogyny, his transphobia. Okay, but you're taking testosterone. You have to shave once a week, and I don't mean your legs. You get a stubble, just like I do, and you're complaining about transgender people? Who are you? Who are you? And by the way, again, going back to the beginning about Bad Bunny breaking Trump supporters' brains, I think Trump has broken their brains because they listen to them over and over. Like, I don't understand why they listen to that guy and they become completely different people. You know, and one of the worst things about people being mean, vicious, malicious, and vindictive is when people hate themselves. Because when they hate themselves, they have a tendency to hate other people. They want to spread the hate. So let me finish with this because it's very important to know. So during the Republican National Convention, Grindr, which is, you could say, is a gay dating app, which it's really not. It's a gay dating thing for only hookups. It's not like you're going to look for your lifetime love on Grindr, right? You're looking to hook up. Grindr crashed during the Republican National Convention. Now, I'm okay with that. Like, if you have a bunch of gay men together and you want to go on Grindr and meet another guy, I'm good, no problem. But then you're supporting an anti-gay LGBTQ agenda. That's what I'm against. Because you have an inner hatred of yourself, and this will also bleed down to your kids. Because I actively know people who are Republican and who are anti-gay, who have gay children, and they look the other way on it, and they refuse to treat their kids like the human beings that they are. This is the evil in the world. And I'm just here to point it out. My name is Joe Peroni. This is the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe. Oh, and before I say that, by the way, again, Bad Bunny, he is an American. He's singing in Spanish. Plenty of musicians sing in other languages, and we've never had a problem before. So don't let Trump be your Lord and Savior. Think for yourself. You remember your childhood. You remember your formative years. Go back to that. You were a much better person then. My name is Joe Peroni. This is the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you.